Hey, welcome back everybody to Cinema Daily US. I'm Matthew Shuckman here with Ed Douglas. We're going to be talking about Karate Kid Legends, the new Karate Kid film in theaters May 30th. Ed, what were your initial thoughts?
I like the intro, which kind of like uh uh tells us how Mr. Han connects to Mr. Miyagi, because it was never really clear exactly how they were going to implement the last movie, which I don't think you saw, the
Yeah, for
2010
Jackie
movie.
Chan coming back for
Yeah,
that role from his Karate Kid film. Yeah.
yeah, which is exactly the opposite. It had like a New York kid moving to Beijing and being trained by him there. So this one is, I mean, it's like I gotta say, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the original movies, the earlier movies. I like the 2010 movie better. I never bothered with Cobra Kai. I just didn't care. And I don't think I missed anything by I don't think I think that this
No,
movie, yeah, this movie is
there's only
fine. You
one
could, yeah.
thing that if you've never seen it, that maybe confuses you when you see something as to why it's the case, but you can figure it out if that's.
Formula. It's a form. It's the same formula as the original movie, the same formula as the 2010 movie, and it's has some good moments, but it has like a half hour. Before, first of all, I feel like the trailer is very deceptive. I don't know if you saw the trailer.
I try to avoid trailers, so I know I
Yeah.
have not.
Well, this one I've seen a lot, and it makes such a big deal about the whole Mr. Han and Daniel LaRusso and the training him and all that stuff, which is literally like the last half hour of the movie. There's this whole section where the kid is training a pizza guy in the boxing ring. That whole thing, and that's not you don't see that in the trailer at all. Probably for a good reason, because no one wants to see that movie. It's like a
Well,
good half hour wasted on that.
I
So
mean, the whole movie is just cobbled together pieces of that formula, and it's just so hastily, like, it's a short film, but it's just like 5 minutes of this, 5 minutes of that. We got to shoehorn in Daniel LaRusso, so let's make sure to get Ralph Macchio in here, and we're bringing back Jackie Chan, so we're just gonna shoehorn all this stuff in, and it's just like 15 different stories, kind of all going on at once, and it's breezing by so much. It's not taking any time to build anything. The fact that he's teaching a boxer kung fu is so strange. Granted, there may be some certain tenets that you can do, but like there's a whole thing with them doing like, oh, let me show you the 1 inch punch, and then they do it. He's like, oh, do the 1 inch punch in the ring. It's like, how do you do a 1 inch punch in a boxing glove? You can't.
yeah,
You
I
don't
know.
fold your hand. It's so stupid. I will say though, I think the best part of the movie is Joshua Jackson, just because I don't really ever really, not that I don't dislike Joshua Jackson. I never really see anything that he does that just goes like, oh, it's something slightly different, or like, oh, I couldn't, maybe that's not even him, and like I wasn't even sure if it was him for a little bit.
I mean, it has bad guys, and the bad guys are bad, and it's not like there's no like middle guys. Like there's good guys, there's bad guys. There's not no mistaking one for the other. There's like the pizza guy played by Joshua Jackson. I guess he borrowed money from the guy who owns a dojo, who's a loan shark as well. And then
Yeah,
so the
well,
guy from the
yeah.
dojo is like and so when they're in the ring, the guy like it's just like there's a lot of stuff like that where just like doesn't make any sense.
Or the
I
fact
kind
or
of
the fact that he can't pay the loan shark, but yet he seems to decide he has the money to move the family down to Florida, if he's gonna have to run away from all these things. It's just like it's just taking the tropes, throwing them, and just hoping nobody questions it. And granted,
yeah.
it's a Karate Kid movie. Do we have to question that much? And I know it's nitpicky at this point, but like New York City's not gonna let that happen on a rooftop, and it's not.
Oh God! Oh my God! That was the craziest thing. That you would not never get a license for that. And
It's
meanwhile,
not gonna happen.
meanwhile, there's the people watching the Knicks game in the middle of the street here. Like they're not gonna. The police are gonna come and take them away because, or close, shut it down because you can't do that. You gotta have to have. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a whole
it's
other
the
thing.
five boroughs tournament, and there was a whole bunch of like so
Yeah,
quick flashes to where they were going, so you couldn't see. But I guarantee you, none of those flashes showed them going to Staten Island, so they really didn't do the full five borough. I mean, it's
yeah.
again, that's stupid, but it's just like, come on, it's. This feels.
This is barely PG-13. I mean, this is like they could have gotten a PG if they really wanted to, I
Is
guess.
it an egregious piece of junk? No. Is it something that I care about? Definitely not. Is it something I think people should go and see? Probably not.
Things I liked about it. Ben Wang, who plays the main character, I mean, he kind of grew on me as it went along. I mean, I wish he shaved his eyebrows, but I think that was the case with a lot of people in this movie need to shave their eyebrows. And I gotta say, they did because they have Ming Na Wen, who I love.
Yeah.
They kind of were already, and it's set in a lot of it's set in my neighborhood, and I see a lot of my blocks. So that's a good way to win me over automatically by having
Well,
Ming Na
that
Wen and having my neighborhood. You kind of win me over, but then it eventually just loses me because it's
But
going
that
to all
that's
the
also
places.
that's also another issue is they seem to change where they're living like every 5 seconds. Like first they make it sound like they're in Brooklyn, then they're apparently on 23rd Street, then it makes it seem like they're in Soho and they're
No,
delivering pizzas
they're in
across border
Chinatown.
lines.
No, they're in Chinatown. Those are real
No,
legit.
yeah, I but I'm sorry. If you're in Chinatown, you're going to school and you're told to take the L to 14th Street and then take the 456 down to Canal Street. I don't think so.
That's a whole
What's your
other,
letter grade?
God, it's tough. I mean, I'm giving it a maybe a B minus, I guess. So it's
Ooh.
just it's mixed, but just passing. Because I feel like I didn't hate it. The parts I liked, it just has a lot of problems. Well, I gotta say also, but sorry, I think the director is really bad. This director did a really bad job. I don't think he was a good director. There were things in this movie, including like musical choices, which were just like, what? Why would you have LCD sound system during an alley fight? And that
And,
song in particular, it was like, what? It was like a
and
lot
yet
of
you still give it a B plus.
B minus, B minus, B minus,
I'll go
B
with a
minus.
plus. I'll go with a D plus.
D plus,
Yeah.
what? Oh, come
It,
on. It wasn't that
I
bad.
mean, look, I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but it's also, again, like, clearly now it's clear by the end of the movie that this does cross timelines with the whole Cobra Kai thing. And you figure it, first of all, they don't, there's a whole thing about, like, oh, Jackie Chan goes to get Ralph Macchio, who doesn't know him. And Ralph Macchio's like, I'm not going to New York to help you out. And then he just shows up for no
Yeah,
apparent reason. And then it's like, if you're going to have this whole thing, at that point, send Johnny. It makes much more sense in the scheme of things of who they're fighting to send Johnny and do it and stay here, stay home and do your shit. Anyway,
yeah.
sorry, I'm cursing everybody. Thank you for
But,
joining
oh,
us.
by the way, when it goes to go get Ralph Macchio, they play California, of course. And just to make
Yeah,
sure when it goes back there, just so you know, they play California again. That's how lazy the music
yeah, yeah.
supervisor. This is the worst music supervisor ever, in my opinion. So
Ed, always great talking to you.
likewise,
I'll
likewise.
see you.